All right, my friends, welcome to episode 382 of Prof and Dev Play Games. My name is Larry, the professor, and over there is Anthony, the dev. He is back. Welcome back. The audience is no longer subjected to me reading every word of a visual novel to them. We're glad to have you back. How was your time?
It was good.
Good.
It's been a long time since I've been to Vancouver, BC, and it's grown a lot.
Oh,
Um, and I don't really want to go back.
you don't want to go back, really?
No.
Oh.
So there's other thing there. I would go back if I didn't have to drive anywhere. Um,
Mm.
and I've had to look this up. Laws that got passed like 40 plus years ago. There's no highways that go through Vancouver City. Like the highway stops and it's all streets.
Oh. So it
And
takes a
there's a
long time to
lot
get
of
anywhere?
people, like anywhere we were looking, no matter how many kilometers it was, we're like, it's a half an hour. Like, we're
Wow.
going to be in the car half an hour on city streets to an hour, depending on what lights we hit, the
Hmm.
whole thing. It's just like, you're just like, why isn't there actual, like, road infrastructure here? Um, yeah, they just have laws that's just not how they city planned and zoned. So,
Oh, wow.
I don't really want to go visit it that way again. As a city, it's a fine city though. Is uh generally pretty neat. But went up there, got to see the Distant Worlds music of Final Fantasy, and it was amazing. Um,
It's a big symphony, wasn't
yeah, it's a full. It's used It was performed by the Vancouver Symphony.
it? Very cool.
Um, Arnie Roth, who's the person that's been doing this since I think 2006 or seven. Like he's talked about doing this for like just over 15 years, doing these concerts. So um, it's not like it's not a traveling symphony. He goes to different symphonies who want this to happen, and they perform and with a choir and the whole thing.
Is
Like
it always just Final Fantasy that he does?
I believe so. I think he now it is because he's
Okay.
just been doing distant world stuff. I think. Um, I looked it up before. Earlier times he did other video game concerts as well and performances. But
'Cause I remember seeing the Zelda one down here, but it's probably not the same people.
no, it's not him at all.
Yeah.
So it was amazing. I mean, this is the second time I've seen it. I mean, and the first time was when I was in Seattle. It was before my kids were born. Um, and it was still great. The key thing is there's a couple more games and stuff out now, so I got to hear more music
Oh, that's
from
true.
different games. They did a couple Final Fantasy XIV. They did Heaven's Ward, which was incredible because they had a full choir along with the symphony, and so they got that going. And and then the woman that was doing the vocal solo for Heaven's Ward was incredible. Kind of liked her better than the recorded
Oh,
artist. Like
wow.
she was real good. Yeah, it was like trying to think about 2 hours of music.
Hmm.
Final Fantasy VII was the most represented
Yeah.
overall. I think four of the songs were Final Fantasy VII stuff, with two of them being like, of course you're going to play these songs. Like, don't think anyone would go to a Final Fantasy symphony orchestra and be like, would feel upset if you didn't play the songs like
Like One Winged Angel.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much that's the
Mhm.
one, and they
Yeah.
ended with One Winged Angel.
Right.
And it's like the conductor was even like, uh I'm obligated to play this song every time, so we're doing it.
Yeah. People would be like,
He's just like, there's some that I have to play,
rip
like,
off if I don't hear the song.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that was there, but I got to hear stuff from 12 and 14. I think everything was given something, and
Well,
they did
Final
like
Fantasy
they
2.
yeah they
Oh,
did a
nice.
medley of
Oh,
one
yeah.
through six
Okay.
stuff with, and then one song directly from six.
Hmm.
But they try to represent all the games in some form. It generally, I got down, I was like, this is awesome. The music of this series is incredible. I highly recommend it if you ever get a chance to see it. It's really good.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. After seeing the Zelda one, I've been looking for more video game concerts and really haven't seen anything. Um, did they play a screen with like game footage?
Yeah,
As
they
they were
had
playing?
video. They
Yeah.
had video behind it. Either sometimes being like a cutscene, like the Heaven's Ward I talked about was used for the opening cinematic of
Mm,
Final
mhm.
Fantasy XIV Heaven's Ward, and so they played the cinematic and then the orchestra over top of it that fit perfectly with the cinematic. and other ones where they just piece together different bits and stuff from different games of the games what they're playing. If it didn't have like a specific place, made me realize I was like watching. I'm like, I should give Final Fantasy 13 another try again. It's been a long time, but I think that's what this concert was like. Man, it has some good music. Maybe I should like suck it up and see if I get through it more at this point.
Yeah, it's feeling. I was thinking today actually about games in long-running series where it doesn't live up to like your expectations of a game from the series, but pieces of it are like, excellent, or maybe some of the best from the series. Like Skyward Sword, which I'll talk about later, like is really grinding on me right now. But the dungeons I think are really good.
Sure.
But the rest of it,
yeah.
So it's kind of, I think every game in the series has something that's cool, and it doesn't always hit on all cylinders.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing with 13 back in the day, as I was expecting something different, potentially. I just had other expectations, and maybe I'm distanced enough from it now where I'd be like, okay, I know what to expect now going in. I know that it's really obtuse and weird for like 20 hours before you everyone says it all starts clicking together. And it's like, maybe I just give it that time, and just see, because God, the music on it was really good.
Are there Final Fantasy games from this, mainline that you haven't really dug into?
I mean, some of the earliest ones.
Okay.
Because I never went back, really.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't really played 1, 2, or 4 much. I mean, we have Pixel remasters now. I don't. You do. But
I do.
I'll
talk about that later, too.
I just haven't. That was... As I got older, I never really went back. Because I just didn't play them when I was younger.
Right.
I did 6. And I've done 3 on the DS. And I emulated 5 at one point in college before it ever came out in the US with a fan translation. So, I mean, there are some. I mean, I never played 11, other MMO.
That's one my cousin just got so into.
Really?
Oh, God, yeah, dude.
Wow.
Deeply into Final Fantasy 11. So deep. And he had never played a Final Fantasy before that or since. That was it. He was, I don't even know why. I think it was at a time when he was playing, we were doing a bunch of Diablo 2 and we were on Counter-Strike, and he had been playing with, his clan or whatever. And then probably some of those people were also playing Final Fantasy 11.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I remember coming back from college and visiting him, and he was playing Final Fantasy 11. I was like, what the fuck is this? But no, he played a shit ton of that.
Okay.
So much so that I was like, oh, you should check out Final Fantasy 14. He's like, no, dude, I can't.
I can't anymore. Nope.
But then he went to Diablo 2 and suffered the same fate. So
yeah, and it was also being like, you can't stop.
Can't. He's once an addict, always an addict.
Yeah. Yeah. So highly recommend anyone wants to go see this. It's great. I wouldn't. I joked with my wife. I'm like, I feel like I had like a religious experience during parts of this.
Oh, awesome!
Not in a way, but just in a way of like that music can hit you sometimes. Being just
totally,
like,
dude.
This is so good and incredible. My kids loved it. They were having a blast, and they enjoyed. Like, they didn't know half the music, if not even a quarter of it, and they're still just enthralled by it and being like, "Oh, that was really good." They like the green helped. It keeps them.
Yes.
A little entertained a bit. Both my daughter and my son loved the Chocobo medley. They do different versions of the Chocobo song, and then it's a very lighthearted part of the symphony and everything. And of course, as kids, they were like just laughing and having a great time with that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good time.
I mean, speaking of like religious experience, my daughter. Like, I mean, we've been playing Skyward Sword for a while, but like for some reason we are like hardcore into like Hyrule and Zelda and Link and everything right now. Like, we're back in like Pokemon. Like, what's Pokemon? We're back into Zelda. And she was like, "Hey, can we listen to? We've been listening nonstop to Pokemon for like 6 months on music while we're in the car." Yeah. She's like, "Can we listen to Wind Waker?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll look." And that there was something when I looked before, there wasn't really anything great on Apple Music for Wind Waker, but some reason this time there's like a full orchestrated version of the Wind Waker soundtrack that's amazing. And we just listened to it back to front or front to back probably
Nice.
six times this weekend. And the music, I was just like, it might be my favorite game soundtrack just because of how many times I've played that game with her since the pandemic started.
Sure.
And I played it once before the pandemic started, but since obviously it's become our game. It's like her favorite game. I love playing it together. We love listening to music. The music each song is so varied and like it just is so meaningful. And just listening to it, just like it felt transcendent for a little bit. And I was like, oh my God, I'm feeling this way about a video game soundtrack that isn't one from my childhood. It feels kind of cool.
Yeah, no, it really does. Similar kind of thing. I mean, Wind Waker has great music.
Oh my God, it's so
Legendary
fucking good,
Hero
man.
is probably one of my favorites.
I still like the Great Sea, man.
The Great Sea is the other one where you're just like, just the feeling of sailing around with that track going. It's so good.
Oh, it's so good, man.
Yeah.
So, and it's cool that she was just like, yes, let's listen to this. And she's so into it. And then we were, doing a bunch of D&D stuff this weekend. She's like, can we have it in the background while we're playing? I'm like, fuck yeah, we can.
Yes, you can.
Oh, man. Oh, so such a good weekend, except for the vomiting, the diarrhea, and all the other shit that happened this weekend. But,
literal shit that happened.
Exactly. But a bunch of stuff has happened in 2 weeks. Jesus. We've got an Indie World Showcase. We've got a 3-minute trailer for Tears of the Kingdom, which has me hyped out of my fucking mind for this game. And then there was also 2 other things, actually. Final Fantasy XVI had a big blowout, and Street Fighter VI had a thing as well. So I don't know where you want to start, but we got a lot of shit to talk about.
Well, because it's fresh in my mind, we're talking about Final Fantasy. We can get through 16 stuff quickly. I mean, it was a Sony State of Play where they spent 25 minutes only, and it was presented by Yoshi P. And then was just like, here's Final Fantasy 16. It covered a lot of the same stuff that the PAX East panel covered.
Mm-hmm.
New in-game material. They're showing new, parts of the game, but it covered a lot of the same aspects of, the RPG systems, and really was kind of an introduction. I think that whole presentation was this is for Sony as a whole entire Sony audience.
Right.
So it was present Final Fantasy to all people who may not even, you're this is the 16th version of it. There's still a lot of people that have never touched these games. And it was kind of trying to present it that way, of being hey, don't be intimidated by this. It's been around a while. You might have heard about it. Let's show you why this is cool. And my God, are they
16.
and my God, are they proud of their combat system. Holy shit. That's all I'm out now, is I'm just you guys are really, really excited for your own combat system here, which is a good thing. They're not trying to hide it. They're putting it front and center.
No, and he's hyped. Yoshi P has harped on that so much, because this is not turn-based combat. This is action focused. Let me show you over and over and over again. If you think Final Fantasy is turn-based, that is not this. This is a new thing. If I could call it a new name, I would.
Yeah, and they're and this action system that we've made is really fucking cool. Look at it. And it really is. And actually, this trailer did show a lot of the mechanics going on in some ways, and I'm just my God, the abilities are varied. You have all what you'd expect normal from. It's very Devil May Cry. Not shocking, because it's the guy who did Devil May Cry combat. Exactly. So that's it has that feel, but it has a much deeper RPG feel to it. And my God, are there just so many different abilities and the unique mechanics to abilities. There is it must be Bahamut as the skill set, and it's doing these attacks, and then it brings up a targeting thing on the screen, and you can slide the cursor around on the screen and target different enemies, and then shoot out bunches of lasers and stuff at people. There's a hold down big laser beam where it just constantly hits the person. And that's on top of your air juggling, weird ice attacks, ground slams, blocks, dodges. I don't know. I'm just this game seems real big in some regards.
I walked away from this trailer, the 25-minute thing, thinking the same thing, because I feel like they've shown a lot, and I'm they're not showing.
I don't think they've shown that much. I really don't.
I don't feel like they've shown as a percentage of the game. I think it's very small.
I feel
like this one was the point where I was I've seen too much. I don't. I'm
Don't need any more?
oversaturated. I don't need any more. I'm oversaturated. Like I will understand it better in context. So it was good. It didn't get me more hyped. I just think it looks amazing. The icon battles are nuts, fucking nuts.
The Titan one?
Yes,
I mean, that's
dude.
where I'm like, okay, you don't have to show me any more icon battles. It's cool. I get it. They're all different, and by all different, you truly mean completely different gameplay.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm like, I get it. Don't show me any more, because I want to be surprised now every time that I get to one of these. But the Titan one was like, the scale of it and just everything going on. I was like, what is this game? I just don't even know. But I feel like this is their answer after 15, really.
Well, I think it's such a great answer to what, I don't know. I enjoyed 15. That was, I've said it before. It's the first one I've ever beat of Final Fantasy. And I really enjoyed the beginning of that game.
It just in the end, I think mechanically it was a very fine game. It was the first one that really started pushing action combat, and it worked. And 7 Remake refined the action combat, and 16 seems to take it even further. Yeah. So, and I'm like, everything that they've shown, I'm feeling like the story and the characters in 16 are just going to be stronger overall. Like,
I mean, the story seems. I mean, I was thinking about it from watching this 25-minute thing. The way that they're portraying the landscape, where like I feel like there's stuff happening in the foreground, the midground, and the background that all tell a story about the world. And like, if just the geography is doing that, like the story itself has to be like,
yeah, and it's being told over a 20-year period.
Yeah,
because you're playing at 15 years, 5 at 15, 25, and 35.
Right.
And so they're gonna be. I just feel like the story of the world is gonna be pretty dramatic over that time. And the characters, and like they showed the thing where you can go to the lore guide and everything, and it actually shows you like the entire history of the world. You can like scrub a slider for what year you're looking at it, and it will show like when battles are happening, who's invading who, and like the entire political landscape as you're scrubbing.
At the end, they're like, we consulted with George R. R. Martin.
Yeah, I guess so. But there's also like a character web as well, where they show you going in and like, oh, I want to know who Jill is, and you click Jill, and it's like shows who she's all connected to and why and how. Like, I'm like, well, okay, you've thought about all of this. Then that's good.
I wish those big fucking like Game of Thrones or whatever, A Song of Ice and Fire had that, where you could just click and it just shows the web.
That'd be a really cool. Why didn't HBO make something like that at one
they
point?
Probably did, but they don't have all the characters from the books. And
that's true. Someone should. That'd be great. But I don't think they did. Go ahead.
Roy Dotrice got like an award or Guinness World Record for voicing, I think it was 1,000, but maybe it was a little less, different distinct voices in one audiobook, and it was fucking Storm of Swords, I think. So, Jesus.
But overall, it was neat to do a state of play like that. There's a reason why this is coming to Sony first, and Sony's putting a lot of money into this game.
Oh, dude. And Square Enix is like putting so much marketing money into this. Like, we need this to sell. I think a lot of their games, I don't know, they have so many different tiers of games. Like Forspoken, obviously, like, but like Triangle Strategy, Octopath Traveler 2, so many different tiers of games that some they like market as hard as they can. Triangle Strategy, I'm not sure if they even had fucking marketing for that one. Maybe they did, had a direct or something. This one is just like all the things. We're putting everything into this. So.
Yeah, they're betting a lot on this one.
But it seems like it's, in a year full of juggernauts, like this seems like one of the juggernauts. So
it is. And you don't get a mainline Final Fantasy all that often. So
no, last time was 2017. Was it 17? God, it seems wrong. Was it 16?
Might have been early.
God, was it 15?
Jeez, I know you're making me look.
I beat it in 17.
16.
Okay, 16. Yeah, so I beat it after my daughter was born.
So yeah, it's been a while since the last one. So yeah, and yeah, being Sony exclusive at least for the moment. I basically also what I would say is the presentation, everything I've seen on it, I see where the money is going that Sony gave them for exclusivity.
Oh yeah.
Like, I look at this game, I'm like, okay, I see all the money put up on screen all the time with this.
Well, and Yoshi P has mentioned it, but like the money that they got for being exclusive actually was to benefit to them too, besides the money, because they only have to target one piece of hardware.
Oh yeah, they only have to target one
them
piece
to
of
go faster.
hardware. And I think I've mentioned this before, and it came true. It's like, oh, because people are like, why isn't it coming out on PC? It's because it will be inconsistent right now how it's going to run on PC.
Yeah.
Because it's using, like, the requirements are likely going to require very fast SSD. NVMe SSD.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I mean,
this game just uses it constantly.
Yep. Yeah, Sony's is massive, So.
Yeah, and they're massive. It could probably work on an Xbox.
Oh yeah, Xbox Series S too. Yeah.
X, but I mean that's out of the question for a while. But
or
PC
if ever, Jesus,
yeah.
do they ever get? They got Crisis Core, I guess.
Yeah. But for PCs, it's just going to be. I don't know. They want to go down that route of being like, oh yeah, we're releasing our PC, but only 5% of PC players can actually play this game.
Right.
Because they don't have the Windows 11 tech that's needed that Forspoken actually used. You could use. It wasn't a requirement on Forspoken, but it used the direct. Is it direct storage? I don't remember. It's a Microsoft tech that basically tries to do the same thing that PS5 is doing, but not as well because PCs can have a variety of different SSDs and GPUs and CPUs. So
yeah, that's why the money to target just the PS5 was well done. Besides the money,
yeah,
so,
that's
like,
why
Yoshi P's team got two things out of it: money plus this is way easier.
A focus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So is that? I think I've asked you before, but this is day one for you.
Oh hell yeah, I have it. Yeah. I have pre-ordered. It's coming day one. I actually just had to cancel my Amazon pre-order and get it on through Best Buy for whatever reason. Amazon was saying that it wouldn't be here until the 26th.
Oh, you're like, no,
not release day. And I'm like, and I had to Google, and the people on Reddit have been talking about it, and we're like, yeah, ours is that way too. Like, and they were like, expect it to be late, and I was like, well, Best Buy guarantees me release day.
Yeah.
So
bye.
Yeah, screw that. And if I need to, I can go pick it up in a store on release day.
Yeah,
I am contemplating when we get together if I need to bring my PS5 with me.
I think the answer is yes.
Probably.
I mean, I'm bringing my Switch. I'll be playing fucking Tears of the Kingdom. But
it's like, it's like 4 or 5 days after this game comes out.
Yeah.
So, that's a possibility.
I can see it.
It's day one, 100% day one.
Awesome.
But we had that. And I guess we could shift to the next trailer, which is shorter, but still as impactful. Tears of the Kingdom had their final.
I got so excited.
You got excited about it.
Ooh, final number 3, the final pre-release trailer.
Yeah,
who knows what's going to come out?
There'll be a launch trailer, I'm sure.
Yeah. 3 minutes of really following the template from their Breath of the Wild trailer, where it's just like, tons of, almost like a supercut, really going quickly through tons of things that just make you ask questions like, what the fuck is this? Wait.
What is going?
Zelda has short hair. She looks like she's in a different timeline. Wait a second. You get to fight alongside Sidon? Wait, you're not alone? Link, you're not alone? Is there going to be companions? Like, wait, you can build a mech?
Yes, a really shitty looking mech, but it's there.
Yeah, exactly. It's a rudimentary fantasy world mech.
Oh my god.
Just everything about this trailer, man, was just like hit after hit. And then we got the fucking another Ganondorf voice, which was like, you and I were like, that's Matt Mercer, 1000%. And then he finally
confirmed it. He got to confirm it. And he gets to be Ganon.
10 years after, what was it? Brawl in the Family or whatever?
Yeah. Okay. So you've been playing stuff.
Oh yeah.
Recently when Zelda and stuff. Is Ganon really voiced in other games?
No.
Like, I know there's grunts and, like, quips and stuff like
there's
that.
Laughter.
But I'm laughter, but I'm like, I don't know.
Tons of laughter. Obviously, he's not in Skyward Sword. No, I don't think he's.
My wife was asking me. So it's like, is it ever been fully voice acted before, like in a game? I'm sure, and I don't think so.
because last time we had Ganondorf was Twilight Princess, which I didn't play, so I don't know if he was there, but
I don't think so. I think it was still text.
Okay, because Wind Waker, he is text for sure, but like he does have like some really extended laughing.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, there's no voice. Like this may be the first time Ganondorf has been voiced.
And it gets to be Matt Mercer in English.
Well, and there were some people on the internet who are like really hate the choice of Matt Mercer. I was just like, what?
I don't know. I mean, it's fun to hate people, I guess, on the internet.
Yeah.
But I think his voice is great for it.
Oh man, totally. You know,
Zelda, and I know he'll bring us all. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He's not gonna like half-ass this. But
no, I mean, this is like I don't know. He's done like a ton of great roles. It's not like
but I think he cares about this one a lot.
Yes, he does a lot. Like, whoa, God, you're voicing the main character in fucking Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Boy, if it were me, I'd be like, this is the pinnacle of my career. But you know, Zelda's been voiced obviously at Breath of the Wild. Yep. And that stood out to me as the first time a main character has been voiced in the Zelda series. Is there someone before Breath of the Wild?
I don't remember is the thing. I'd have to look. It makes me want to kind of go back and see. Like, I know it wouldn't have been in 64 stuff because they didn't have the space.
Yeah.
I mean, and you've done a bunch of Wind Waker.
Oh, it's definitely not Wind Waker. No, everything is...
Yeah, it would have to be Twilight Princess.
Yep.
Or Skyward Sword stuff.
I mean, I'm playing Skyward Sword now, and there's no voice characters.
Yeah, then I doubt Twilight Princess did.
Yeah, right, because why would they go backwards?
Yeah. So yeah. That's the thing.
Super cool. I don't... Do you think there are dungeons based on this trailer?
Possible.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, though. Like, that's the thing. I don't know for sure. And I don't want to set myself up believing they're going to be dungeons like I think dungeons were in older Zelda games. Like, that's the thing about it. I feel like if there is a dungeon-like experience here, it's not going to be... It's going to be different.
Yeah.
So I think there'll be things that are bigger than the Divine Beasts. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I think so too. Like the underground stuff, really, and even like the fucking Death Star or whatever the fuck he's floating over in the trailer. And then the series of like it's almost like an obstacle course. I think he's with Tebu, the Rito bird, like bouncing off of something and flying through the sky. And it looks like there's a bunch of sky platforms. It feels like I can't remember what they're called. In Ghost of Tsushima, where you come across the shrines or something like that, where you're like doing these platforming challenges. I don't know if it's any more like that. I understand the complaint of not having the handcrafted, hand designed dungeons with like a very one solution kind of thing that you got to really puzzle out. But boy,
I don't think they'll have the one solution thing if they're there,
like the boomerang dungeon or whatever.
I absolutely don't think they'll do that.
Yeah,
because that's pretty antithesis of what
exactly
Breath of the Wild was, and Tears of the Kingdom clearly is it's its own thing, but it is very much the sequel to Breath of the Wild, like through and through. And then they're giving you new powers, but they're like, no, just mess around, make things. Like,
yes.
How much of this are you going to be able to break with just fusing random crap together?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, speedrunners are going to have so much fun. You're going to be honest.
Dude, there's going to be so much great content for years off this game.
Yeah.
Do you think I think the answer is probably no, but you know, the whole Link, you're not alone and you're fighting alongside Sidon or whatever, is that any hint at all of multiplayer, or is this all companion based?
I doubt there's multiplayer.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that is Nintendo's thing with this, but
yeah, it'd
be nice, but no, I don't think so.
One other crazy theory for you. There's time travel in this, it seems like. We're going to be fucking with time in some way. You know, obviously we see it with the recall ability, but, you know, I think maybe at least the short-haired Zelda's in a different time period, and maybe she's trapped in time somewhere. I don't know. But do you think there, you know, okay, I don't think this is possible, but this would be fucking hype as hell. If somehow this, okay, if you go to like the Hyrule Historia and the Encyclopedia, the timelines split, but then they come back with Breath of the Wild, sort of, where like all three merge back together. And then I'm wondering if you're fucking around with time and they're trying to like converge the timelines, if they even care about that, and they probably don't. If you went back in time and like went through like the water temple or something, like some like Ocarina of Time temple or some temple that is a temple from a previous Zelda game, but made in this engine. And it's just like one, but you're going through time and then you realize, oh shit, this is not like similar to that temple. It is that fucking temple. I'm in that timeline right now. That could be really cool.
It could be. I don't think so.
Doing that, but
I doubt it. Who's the main producer? Sorry, I'm losing his name.
Aonuma?
Aonuma. He doesn't seem like the person that would be wanting to do that. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty amazing that we're getting a straight sequel to Breath of the Wild. Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's less Majora's Mask and more like this is a sequel.
It is a sequel. Yeah. Like 100%. Like watching the trailer, like, yep, this is a sequel. I think this squashed a lot of people. They're like, what's so special about this game? Why isn't it just DLC? This trailer proved why it's not DLC.
Oh yeah.
This is it's a whole game. Yep. Like they're not shortchanging you here. They're giving you a full experience. Like rocket shields.
The fucking rocket hand thing where like he just shoots in the air. Is that what you're talking about? The rocket shield?
Yeah, no, it was on a shield.
It was fused on a shield?
It was fused to the shield.
Okay, I'm going back and check.
I'm pretty sure it was on a shield, that he had it up on his shield. And
oh my god, I love the part that the shield is on the fucking sword.
Yep. Is it a sword shield or a shield sword? Exactly. I don't know, but it's the Hylian shield crest on the Master Sword.
Oh my god, I'm gonna check this out. Oh my god, it is on a shield. Holy shit, I didn't realize that.
I'm like, what the hell? So you found a rocket in the world and fused it onto the shield so you can launch yourself up to a weird place?
Oh my god, let me slow this down to 0.25.
This game's going to be so dumb in the best way.
In the best way. And
I'm going to lose so much time exploring in it.
Yeah.
And that's what the trailer did to me, is realizing I'm like, oh yeah, I lost so much time and had such fun with Breath of the Wild.
Well, it made me think of Eventide Isle, where I was having so much fun with Breath of the Wild, and I was probably 15 hours in, and then I was just in that southeast corner of the map, and I was like, where am I? And it was nights, where it took me nights to beat that. And it was before my daughter was born, and it was amazing. I loved it. It was like my favorite moment of the game. And then I was listening to a podcast today where people are Jason Schreier is going back through the game, and he's kind of like Googling like, what are the best side quest or whatever. And he was talking about Tarrytown, and I had forgotten about Tarrytown.
I love Tarrytown.
I started it. I never finished it. And I was like, fuck, there's content. There's so much content I didn't do in the first game.
I am so glad I finished Tarrytown, because Tarrytown's like best feature of the whole thing was that every time you added a new person into the town, the music changed.
Oh, dang.
They each added a different instrument to it. And whenever you had them all complete, the entire song was complete with all.
Oh my god!
All the full arrangement. Cool. It was so good. You can find a YouTube video online where they break it down and show you like, this is what it is with this person and the next person, and show how it all layers together. Oh, it's an incredible piece of music.
Wow.
Highly recommend that one if you never got through the whole thing.
I sort of want to go. I mean, I'm not going to do it, but I'd love to go back and do that before Tears of the Kingdom comes out. But I'm stuck on being a good dad and a dumbass at the same time, where my daughter, have been playing through Pokemon Arceus, and she's really interested in Pokemon Violet. And I was like, we're not going to play a new Pokemon until we beat the old Pokemon. So then we've been playing Skyward Sword for, since 2021, and a lot more in earnest in the last 3 months. And I was like, oh yeah, Tears of the Kingdom comes out soon, looking forward to playing it together. And she's like, we can't play it till we beat Skyward Sword. God damn it.
You're like, don't do this to me.
She did it to me, and she's right, and I got to do it. And then it's kind of breaking the game for me in that I'm trying to cram it in, and I'm not playing other games that I want to play. Like I'm at the point now in Skyward Sword where I'm like sort of done. Like I get the game, I'm done, but there's 3 dungeons ahead of me that are apparently really good, so I'm excited about that. But the stuff to get to the dungeons is sort of like the Triforce quest in Wind Waker. You got to get the 7 shards of the Triforce. Like you have to get like 15 tears before the Guardians awake to then go back to an old temple and get some water to then unlock the fucking dungeon. It's like 3 steps to unlock the dungeon. It's just like, so yes. Anyway, I'm doing that. So I don't know if I'll have time for Tarrytown.
Yeah.
But But Tears of the Kingdom trailer looked awesome. And really, I mean, I'm so excited.
We're 2.5 weeks out.
Oh my God. 2.5 weeks to finish Skyward Sword. That's so cool. I hope mine, I got mine on Amazon. I hope it arrives on time.
Yeah, mine said it's still release day delivery for that one. Okay. So
let me just check mine real fast, but I'm sure it is too. In the meantime, more recently, and this will tie into things I've been playing, my daughter has been hoping Zelda's playable, talking about wanting Zelda to be playable and not her always needing to be rescued. Although I did point out, she's not trapped in Hyrule Castle with Ganon. Ganon's trapped in Hyrule Castle with her.
Correct.
And my wife was like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "Oh, yeah. Yes, it's very much a I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me.
I am holding you hostage here.
Exactly.
Like
Ganon's the one that's fucked in this case. Holding you until Jesus Christ, Link can beat your ass. But in that, and I put in our Discord, I stumbled across Zelda's Ballad, which is a Breath of the Wild mod where you play as Zelda. And some tinkering to it has further expanded the dialogue options where it removes Zelda talking to Link, and it's just Zelda talking to herself. And then I showed it to my daughter this morning, and she was just enraptured with it. Can we play this? I'm like, I don't know how to play it. I don't know how to get this mod. I don't know how to do that. But we can watch it.
You have to play it through the mythical Switch 2 that doesn't. We will just call it the Switch 2. And then probably apply a patch to some files on your hard drive.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be playable back on your normal Switch.
Yeah. So and things I've read is like it's a Wii U. It's a dump of the Wii U. It's a decompile of the Wii U one. You have to play through Cemu, which I think is that a Windows-based program? I'm not sure. But then my daughter was like, I want to play this. I was like, maybe we can just watch it because it seems like a lot of work for me to figure this out.
Cemu is the Windows Wii U emulator.
Got it. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I have a Wii U copy. It would be legal for me to have a decompile. I don't know.
Technically, it's not legal.
It's not legal?
No.
I thought it was.
If you rip it yourself, I should say.
I could probably figure that out, right? I have the disc. Is that possible?
Theoretically, if you rip it yourself and then have the thing, but then the ability, but actually running the emulator is not technically legal, usually, unless it doesn't have to use a BIOS. That's always the thing. If it doesn't have to use a BIOS, then you'd be good. But the PlayStation emulators, you have to always have a BIOS of the system, and that's protected.
Got it.
It's all gray area. Like, I'm not one to be against emulation. I'm all for it. But there's definitely clear legal lines of being like, yeah, this isn't technically legal.
Interesting.
But no one cares.
I thought because I had the disc. But let's say it's 100% legal. It sounds like 6 steps of shit that I can't do. So
yeah, it's not gonna be an easy process.
Yeah, exactly. Can we just watch it? Because it's fucking awesome. Let's just watch it. So it's been cool. Digging into Breath of the Wild in that way. Very cool. I'm glad someone did that mod because it's, I don't know. After this trailer, the questions are somewhat swirling about will you be able to play as Zelda? I'm like, I'm not going down that road again.
No, I don't think so.
I want it so badly, and I know that Nintendo doesn't fucking care.
No.
So, you want to play as Zelda? Go ahead and play Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, I don't. Pretty sure you're playing as Link in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Again, I don't know what the story's really going to be though. Ganon. I mean, it's a Zelda story. Ganon's back.
Ganon's back. You're fighting Ganon,
and then you have a mythic. You're the mythical knight who can wield the mythical sword that can take down Ganon. That's that. There you go. That's what Zelda has been since the beginning.
Yep.
Done. So
that's what this game is.
Yeah.
Which is fine, and I'm very excited about it. 2.5 weeks. That's awesome.
I know. Oh my god.
Other stuff that happened was a Street Fighter 6 presentation, which did you watch it at all?
Nope.
They showed more of the world tour thing, which is a lot more involved, where you're running around the town and picking fights with people and gaining experience and changing your clothes and whatever else. It looks okay. And then they said that they had a demo on the PS5, and then next week is the Xbox and PC. So I downloaded it. I did the world tour, and I was like, this is okay. I'm not really. This isn't very exciting. I for a single player experience, okay, it's something is there, but I think I would rather do the one-on-one fights or whatever. So then the next night I went and did the one-on-one fights, and after playing through the one-on-one fights, you can only play as Luke and Ryu, and after playing for an hour, I pre-ordered the game because it's so fucking good. And the presentation talked about the modern controls, about the shoutcasting they have. But then playing with both of those things, where it's not you can choose the Street Fighter inputs, or you can choose modern controls, which is more like Smash Brothers, modified a little bit. And it makes it way more fun. Like, I can do all the moves, and it's more about strategy as opposed to like, did I get the fucking buttons pressed right? And then the shoutcasting adds another layer of like, it's reacting to the things that we're doing in a scripted way, but it feels fairly organic. There wasn't too much repetition, and it just felt so fucking exciting. I was like, this is a great demo. So I bought it. I'm very excited about that.
That's June
2nd. No, is that Diablo? Shit.
That is the pre-start date for Diablo. I know Street Fighter comes out right. All of that stuff.
Yeah, what, June 2nd, 5th, something like that?
June 2nd.
June 2nd.
Same day as the early start for Diablo. Diablo 4.
Man, people will still be playing Tears of the Kingdom. Those two games come out, then Final Fantasy fucking later in the month. Like, Suicide Squad's like, we're just going to delay until 2024.
Until we can make a good game?
Yes, exactly. They're not going to be able to make it out of that. But Street Fighter 6 presentation looked pretty interesting, enough for me to get the demo, and the demo is what sold me. So well done, Capcom.
I should play the demo and see if honestly, I'm not going to get it. I have enough. We just mentioned the game's coming out. There's no way I'm going to fit this game in there as well. But I'm glad that it's fun. And kind of feels like a good modernization of that game.
It does. Franchise. And it feels good in a bite-sized way, where like the stuff that is more time-consuming, like the World Hub thing or whatever, like but just the one-on-one fights, like the way that they have those things structured, and they have a lot of different modes and variety. That you could play like fucking weird-ass rules where whoever gets knocked down 5 times in the match, they lose. You can do one where like bulls run through your fucking screen. There's like a whole bunch of different wacky shit. Like, really, honestly, like that whole suite right there is kind of like items in Smash Brothers, but not items. They're trying to do other shit. And it's leaning a little bit more toward that, a bit more casual fun, and it really worked for me. So I was very excited about that. So I picked that up. And then the other thing that happened this week was the Indie World Showcase from Nintendo that happened on the 19th. Tons of indie games, obviously. Anything stand out for you?
A few things, but like not my list I had up. I closed it. Give me 1 second.
Well, there was a Brotato. There was a Vampire Survivor clone.
Brotato. I know Brotato. It's probably one of the better.
Oh, cool.
Well-known Vampire Survivor clones. And what was the one that was? There was Rift of the Necrodancer.
Oh, yeah.
I'm here for Necrodancer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Very just curious what that ends up being. I couldn't get a great sense of that. There was... where is it? Oxenfree 2 still? Yep. There's just something about that. I'm shocked that I'm like, I want to play that, but I don't remember either of us like truly loving the first one.
We liked the story and the dialogue stuff. We hated the walking.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, which makes sense.
Like, did they make him walk faster? Because that'd be better.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then they had like the looking forward thing. So yeah, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk still.
Oh yeah,
I'm all for that. But I mean, I think I said to you, it's like a 5 out of 10 for me. Like nothing like huge standout of being like, oh yeah, love this. It's good. They showcased a bunch of indie stuff. Some stuff I hadn't seen before.
I felt like this was the most even indie world we've had in a long time, where I feel like previous indie worlds have had like some, obviously we just had this farming simulator one last time, but in general it's just been like a couple really big good ones, and the rest were kind of like really low. This one I think the same thing. I probably would give it like a 6 out of 10, but I felt like everything was a 6 out of 10. It all seemed fairly even. Not really too many things that stand out to me. Oxenfree 2 stands out to me. And then Teslagrad 2 and Blasphemous 2. Interesting. And Rift of the Necrodancer. So, those ones stand out to me. For some reason, Little Kitty Big City looks fun, but just from a
Sure.
standpoint of playing with my daughter. Something fun with cats, because she's can't have a cat, so being able to like dress up a cat and run a cat around the city sounds like fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. It's just like, okay.
yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of big stuff coming out, so this was just kind of like a nice. It's just smaller things right now, but still, I'm waiting to see. Like I said, Nintendo has a big game coming out in 2.5 weeks. So trying to get a sense of what they do after that.
Yeah, so we wait for the Nintendo Direct that like tells us what the rest of the year looks like, because
Yeah.
after Pikmin 4, I don't think we know anything.
Nope.
So.
But yeah. So I mean, you kind of mentioned what you've been playing. You played some Skyward Sword, trying to get through that.
Yeah. So I played a
Fighter.
lot. So yeah, my daughter and I, going on the Zelda thing, she was very excited about playing as female characters, Zelda, Tetra. So I loaded up Hyrule Warriors and unlocked the character Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. You just had to play the prologue to unlock a bunch of characters. So she was able to play as Zelda and Girahim. She was so excited to play as Girahim. She played as Ganon, and she was, it was a little hard for her to figure out where to go. It was a little hard for me. Hyrule Warriors, like I played it the night before or last night, trying to unlock a few things, and I was just like, I had it on easy mode, and I still have to like juggle where to be, run across the map, run back across the map, make sure that I don't lose here, and then when I go over here, I'm losing in the other spot that it causes us to be defeated. And I was like, oh my god. So then today, for some reason, she instead wanted to play Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, which is the Breath of the Wild kind of prequel Muso game.
Yep.
And she played from the beginning. It was a little frustrating in terms of her being able to use. It's much more complicated in terms of controls, and they're different than Hyrule Warriors. So she had been used to that in the morning. Then in the afternoon, we played the other one. But the structure is way better. It is way less frustrating for me.
Sure. That's good.
Yeah, and it was pretty cool. She had a good time. So we played a bunch of that. I played a bunch of Metroid. After beating Crimson Shroud, I wanted another short game. I started playing Metroid Fusion. Okay. And probably put 3.5 hours into that, 3 hours or so, and just loved it, man. It feels way more linear than other Metroid games I played.
It is.
Yeah. So I'm not getting lost. I feel it's very structured. Know exactly where I'm going, what I'm doing. Very bite-sized areas. And then the areas advance or expand more once you get new abilities or whatever. But I had to put it down because I need to get through Skyward Sword to get to Tears of the Kingdom. I'm just like, okay, this is stupid because it's making me hate this game. And it's making me not play. I haven't played Burning Shores because
that came out too.
It did, yeah. And I'm putting my 90% of my gaming time is in Skyward Sword, and I'm enjoying it. But I'm starting to hate it just because I feel like I have to play it, and I'd never like to be in that situation.
Nope, I hate that feeling too.
Yeah, but I'm there. That's what I'm doing. So I've been playing. I've probably put like an hour into some game every night, mostly Skyward Sword. So that's been my time. I loaded up Pixel Remaster just to see how it ran, and it runs really well, obviously.
Which Pixel Remaster? Which one?
6. I'm playing 6.
6. Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that one first.
That's the one I bought.
Nice. Have you touched it yet?
I haven't touched it at all.
Okay. Yeah.
I haven't got to play much for myself this past week. I'm trying to think of something what have I been putting a little time into? I've played. I played random thing today. I played that Square Enix AI thing.
Oh yeah, that came out.
That's awful. It's bad.
Oh,
I hate it so much.
Oh,
I really don't mean it. It's a tech demo. It's whenever you think of the natural language AIs that are out there, like ChatGPT, and how you can speak to them and get responses. That's not this.
Oh, okay.
It just feels like another like. It's an adventure game, and it kind of reminds me of like old adventure games where you're like, you want to do something, and then you try to figure out. Like it reminds me of old DOS adventure games when you're like trying to use different commands, but they're not working. Because I was like a simple thing there. I was like, okay, you're kind of directing. You're like the detective, and then you have a partner with you helping you. You're kind of directing them on what we should be doing. And I was like, cool. I'm gonna treat this as like natural language then, like. Yeah. It's a natural language. So I'm like, Well, let's go look at the crime scene. They're like, I don't understand. And I'm like, what? Like,
How
what?
do you not understand?
I'm like, okay. And then it was like, there's a list of places. And I was like, okay, mansion was where the crime scene was. It's like, okay, let's go investigate the mansion. And we went there. It's like, but you still had to use specific terms. It feels very half-baked. I'll say that. That's why I hated it. Because I was expecting, even if it wasn't going to work well, being able to really type in natural language to have things happen. And it's just not. So, it has a long ways to go on that front. So, we can, you can avoid that for now.
Wow.
I did it for 15 minutes. I was like, I'm real frustrated. This is dumb.
Every review is absolutely trash negative.
Yeah, oh yeah. Because I think you're expecting something way more powerful than what it is.
Maybe everyone's saying maybe we should focus on the task at hand.
Yeah, that's actually the response you normally get if it doesn't understand what you're talking about.
Oh my god, that's terrible.
It is. I mean, it's a free tech demo, so sure. But I'm like, why would you even release this as a tech demo? Like, It just doesn't work. It doesn't do what's promised. So,
yeah, exactly.
Did that. Oh, I played. I've got a game probably shortly before I went to Vancouver, maybe the day I went up there. Last Epoch, which is an action RPG on Steam.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Did
we talk about
credits.
that recently?
It's the only one that I haven't. I think major action RPG I haven't had on Steam.
Yeah,
it's an early access still. It's almost out. It's never gone on sale, and it's sits somewhere. It's a like action RPG. It's clearly getting a lot of buzz because it's again Diablo 4. You can't play right now.
Yep,
People are looking for other things. And this sits there somewhere in complexity between Path of Exile and Diablo. So it's pretty nice. I would recommend it for people who like action RPGs, but I don't think it's like the best for a new person to the genre at all. It's still complicated enough where I'm like, nah, there's a lot you can, because there's like your own passive skill tree, and then each skill has like. You have skill slots. You can have any skill, but you have like 5 slots as you level up, and you can say, I'm going to put this skill in this slot, and that unlocks a passive skill tree for that skill. Which is cool. But it feels like there's a lot of places that a person's going to be like, whoa, okay. It has a lot of crafting in it as well. So you can like customize your gear and everything. The story isn't great. It's pretty honestly lackluster. I don't even know what the hell's going on. You just kill things. So, but it has, I would say, good bones for an action RPG. I like it more than like Grim Dawn.
I'm reading a fucking positive review that says pros. You don't have to give Blizzard your money. You don't have to open 10 Google spreadsheets like for PoE. You don't have to find Grim Dawn repetitive anymore. Oh, man,
yeah, that's basically kind of just has its own little niche in there.
Yeah.
So I played some of that, and then I've done a couple runs of Vampire Survivors because they had a new DLC that came out.
Oh my god! Again.
Yeah, still good. I still have like 20. I think I got 1 achievement, so I've got like 20 more new achievements to get. So I need to focus on that for a bit. Yeah, and it's like a $2 DLC because that's what they do.
Yeah, exactly.
So for video game wise, that's it. And then today I played the Monster Hunter World board game with my son. So that was fun.
Board game, interesting.
Didn't I? I posted in our Discord.
Oh, that's right. I got focused on the fucking minis, but that's part of the game then.
Yeah, those are the monsters from the board game.
Got it. Okay. I was like, those are cool minis. No, there's more than minis.
That's
there.
A game.
Okay.
It's for the board game.
Got it. Yeah, there's that first picture of the Monster Hunter board game. There we go.
And that was a lot of fun. We had a good time. And it does a good job of emulating the Monster Hunter formula. And I'm going to play it some more. I highly recommend it. I don't think anyone will be able to get a hold of it until like October. I think is the earliest that I've heard that it will actually show up in retail stores.
Because it's sold out?
This is all Kickstarter.
Oh, it's Kickstarter. Got it.
Yeah, so all film and anyone who has it now just had the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And then I went to their Discord because I was like, there's a few things I didn't get from the Kickstarter because I wasn't willing to go in for another $150.
Sure.
At that point, but now I'm like, I probably would when that stuff hits retail, and it doesn't look like it's going to show up till end of the year, October at earliest.
Uh,
But yeah, Son had a blast. He's like, when are we going to do it again? I'm like, all right, we will, because it says a full campaign. Fight monsters, get their parts, make better weapons, armors, fight bigger monsters. And the minis are very big. It's 22 pounds of board game.
Dang, that's very cool. I love when you play a game with your kid and they're just like, when can we do it again? We did we're doing the adventure club or whatever, the D&D adventure club. And we did our second adventure, and my daughter was like, when can we do this again? Like, and I was talking about showing her some like Dwarven Forge stuff, and she's like, whoa, you can like put characters on a basically a 3D grid and like tell the story there. I was like, fuck yeah, you can. Let's go buy some. So we did, and we had a blast, and I'm looking forward to getting some more for, probably a little cheaper than I spent this weekend in other places, and just building different scenarios. Her imagination was just captivated, man. She was just all over it.
That's very cool.
Very, very, very cool. So very excited.
I'm good. I got nothing else.
Yeah, nope.
Pretty packed amount of news in the past couple of weeks.
Lots of news. Fuck, a lot of work at work. Holy shit. So much stuff going on at work. So very, very excited for finishing strong so I can guilt-free jump into Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes, please do it.
Yes. So cool.
We gotta do it so we each go different directions when we start playing.
Oh, absolutely.
So that we can just then sit here and talk and be like, what do you mean you found that? What are you talking about? Like,
digging back into Breath of the Wild now reminds me how much Elden Ring reminded me of Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah.
Just that it's whatever's in front of me is what I'm doing today. I'm just going to that horizon and seeing what that fucking thing is.
Yep.
It's just, they're so similar except for the fucking difficulty.
Difficulty and the oppressiveness.
Yes.
The environment of the mechanically, they're very similar from an exploration standpoint. Very different when it comes to how they want to make you feel while playing. Exactly. Yeah. Well, cool.
Yep. Well, this is episode 382, Prof and Dev Play Games. Looking forward to talking next week about whatever batshit crazy news comes out this next week.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening, and sooner than later, I'll have that second part of the Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh boy!
Which I forgot. I also played that and quite enjoyed it. In fact, so good job, Sega. Their best Sonic game is your free Sonic game.
Is your free April Fool's Sonic game?
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
All right, folks. We'll see you next week.
All right, later, everyone.